So, The Office. It is only my top one favorite show. It is
Top
the
one.
best. I can't even put it in a tier. I can't even put it in a list with another show because it's just will blow it all out of the water. I got to put it by itself. It's that volatile.
It's like SS Ultra. Like,
Yeah. What?
oh, it's like the top.
Yeah.
Top of the top of the top
Yeah.
of the top.
So, The Office is my show, and I have figured out how bad. I don't see it as a bad thing, but I've watched this show so much. I've rewatched this show over 20 times.
Jesus.
I'm well over 20 times, and I went a couple years without watching it. We just started rewatching it.
Because they took it off of Netflix.
Yeah, but for my
was it on
birthday,
Peacock now?
Yeah.
for my birthday. I mean, we got Peacock. It's like $5. So,
With ads.
yeah, we're watching The Office, and at the end of every episode, first off, Peacock, fix your shit. You're moving on to the next episode before the episode's even done. That's getting on my nerves.
Yes.
And the skip intro is coming up halfway through the cold open. Like, it is.
Yeah.
It's all
that's
messed
rough.
up.
Yeah, and it messes me up because I'm also watching Parks and Rec right now. We're kind of in between both. And so it's not like I can get Tyler to explain to me what happens at the end of the Parks and Rec episode. So I have to go back, scroll
I think there's
through.
another streaming service that does the same thing.
There is, because we've been watching something that's been doing that.
It like will cut it even if the show is not
Is
finished.
it Amazon?
If there's
Like,
like
way
30
before
seconds
credits.
left, yeah, it
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
like 30, 40 seconds.
I
and
have
it
to
starts-
we have to scramble to find the remote to click cancel because I'm like, now I can explain to her exactly what happens at the end of each one of these episodes.
Yeah, it's still the point.
But when it works right and it's like next episode coming up, every time I'm like, oh, this is this episode where, and I tell Haley the whole episode before we watch it.
Which, to be fair, since he's been a couple years off, I will ask a question and I'll be like, "Isn't this what happens?" And Tyler's like, and then it does happen, and I'm like, "Okay." He's been off of it
I'm
for
a little
while.
rusty, but like once I start watching it, oh my gosh, it's my show. Like,
He'll quote something, and then 5 minutes later, like, the exact same thing will be, like, word to word will be said. And I'm like, Tyler, come on.
this is Tyler's comfort show.
it is.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is. It got me through middle school and high school. I've been watching The Office since middle school, over and over and over and over and over again.
So I never had seen The Office until I started dating Tyler. And even then, I'd waited a while before I started watching it because I wasn't sure how committed I was going to be to this boy. And
Look at there. Yep.
I ended up really liking it. But how do y'all feel about The Office? Have y'all watched it? Are you a big fan?
Yeah, I've watched it. I love it. I mean, it's a good background show now because I've watched it so many times. Not as much as Tyler. I think I've gotten like 4, maybe.
That's still
4 or
quite a
5,
bit.
but
I'm only on my second run through.
it's pretty good. Just like Parks and Rec is pretty good. It's a good show to have. It's I think like that 70s show,
Yeah.
The Office, Parks and Rec. They're all good shows to have in the background because you've already watched them and you kind of can look up, laugh at a certain point, and then go back to whatever you're doing on your phone or.
See, but
I feel the same way about
computer or-
Friends too.
Yeah.
I haven't watched. Friends
My
like that.
It's all
problem.
those sitcom shows, kind of. You know.
Yeah.
But my problem with it is, it's like it's a good background show, but that show Haley be playing The Office. I'll stop what I'm doing and just watch it, and I'm full invested, like watching it, like I've never watched it before, but I just love it so much. It's my comfort
Which,
show.
to be fair, Tyler, when Ari was a baby, Trevor's child, when he would get home from work, he would turn on The Office and like take care of Ari, like and hold her or whatever a little
It
bit.
was really the weekends when I had her,
yeah.
when you were gone for work,
And so I'm just trying to get him back into baby mode.
Yeah.
Like, and if The Office is what's going to keep him awake while
We had a
he's
routine.
taking care of the
we
baby.
had a routine. I would pour Ari's bottle. I'd give her the bottle, put her in their little bouncer thing, sit
You're
with
such
like
a
you
good
did with my
babysitter.
foot on the bouncer, and we'd watch The Office. And then, like an hour later, I'd put her back down for another nap.
And keep watching The Office.
Yes,
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did with The Office, that 70s show, and all those.
Teen
things.
Titans Go.
Yeah, a little bit when Riley was there.
Yeah, me and Riley and Ari would be asleep, and me and Trevor still be in the living room watching Teen Titans Go.
It's actually pretty good.
But anyways, how do y'all feel about?
Well, I started watching The Office in high school, and I think I started it around the time Michael left.
Okay.
Season 7?
Yeah, that's when I started watching it. I think it was like either
Well, he leaves at the end of season
6
7.
was coming out, and like we knew season 7 was going to be the last one, or either 7 was out. I can't remember where I was at. But
Well, they
I
had
didn't.
9.
Yeah, I didn't watch past Michael leaving, and then I've caught it on TV because like Megan, my dad, they like it, and you can catch reruns at any time on TV.
Right,
So
yeah.
it was always like on in the living room. So I've seen like certain stuff multiple times, but I've only watched it once, and I didn't finish the series.
And I am the little virgin when it comes to The Office because
That's something Michael Scott would say.
That's what she said.
Little kid lover.
I've
So people
I've
know who my
watched
true intentions are.
season 1 and I think some of season 2, but I've seen just from her watching it, I've seen like some key episodes like
It gets so juicy.
throughout it. It's pretty funny, but I'll be honest with
Do
you.
you remember anything from season 1? The basketball episode?
Yeah, when they're
Stanley?
playing in the
Stanley, of course. Why, of course? Because.
and all the bullshit with which I know that happens throughout the whole thing, but Jim and
Pam
yeah.
and
I mean,
Roy.
honestly,
Roy,
that was why I
that's
was
who it
there
was.
for it. Was Jim and Pam.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Every
Yeah.
time
I
Pam
Spam
live
or
for a
Jim,
relationship like that.
yeah, when
Yeah.
they mess up or whatever, I just go, come on, guys, every time, because I know how it's gonna end. It's so while we're rewatching it, I'm like,
We're
y'all are so
in-
stupid.
we're in
You
the
know
middle of-
you like each other.
We're in the middle of season 3 right now, and that's when we're getting close to where.
It's starting to get a little juicier.
Well, it's Jim and Karen are dating, but it's getting to the part where Jim and Karen go go interview for the same job, and that's when Jim finally changes his hairstyle and actually looks like a decent man. And he comes back and he's like, "Pam, what are you doing tonight?" She's like, "Nothing. It's a date." And it's like, we've waited so long.
Which I totally forgot. But speaking of like the Jim and Pam thing, when she gets pregnant, he does the whole like scene. And so after a
yeah.
few weeks after we found out we were pregnant, I sent that to Tyler, and I was like, I should have sent this to you when
They're
I
having-
found out.
They're having the company-wide picnic, and
Yeah.
Pam gets hurt during the volleyball game, so Jim takes her to the hospital, and they find out she's pregnant. And Jim walks out of the room crying, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And I was like,
Yeah, that part makes me tear up every time.
It's so
Especially
good.
when you have a kid.
"Yeah."
You're like, golly.
But oh my God, Dwight got a hooker. That's another episode. That's season.
You do when you go
3.
back rewatching it, because when I watched it the first time, it was like, I don't know, you see everything for the first time, you feel like everything kind of happens pretty quickly or whatever. And now that we're rewatching it, I'm like, they really stretched this thing out. Like,
Especially season 3. There's like, because Oscar leaves and he comes back. He comes back.
Andy leaves, and then he comes back.
Yeah, Andy leaves for like 5 episodes. Then
God,
comes
that's
back.
one of my favorite parts when he punches that wall, dude. That's my
My freaking phone! And punches the hole in the wall.
that makes me laugh so hard. Every time.
And the camera
What?
pans to Jim and he just hangs up the phone. Oh, what?
What season is it where the merger happens, where they come together?
Season 3.
Okay,
you're
so
talking
I
about
think
Stanford and
I
so
thought
I've
that we had
seen
through
up
three.
into
yeah,
season
when
3.
Josh goes to Staples,
Yeah, I like that part where
they're playing Call of
Jim
Duty.
goes where Jim goes to the other
Stanford,
office,
yeah.
and they're all in there playing, and
Call
Jim's
of
just
Duty.
fucking up, and
Yeah.
the dude Andy gets so mad at him.
He's like, Josh is like, "Jim, Andy, can I see you in my office for a minute?" And they walk in there and like, what is going on? It's Jim is like, "Oh, they're playing this game," and then he's like, "We're not having the right strategy right now." And they're like, "Jim, what are you using?" And he goes, "Sniper rifle." And he's like, "You're using a sniper rifle on?" He says an actual COD map, but I never played. That's War at War, I think, or World War.
No, it's like Call of Duty 1. I think,
Yeah,
or 2 or
it's only,
whatever.
and I'm like, bruh, it's a
But-
team building strategy.
Nah, I mean it's pretty funny. The Office to me though was one of those. It was kind of the way I did with Breaking Bad. It was so hot and everybody was talking about
You
The
didn't wanna
Office and
watch
watching it. Yeah, I just didn't get on that Train.
Yeah.
And so, like, I watched it super late, just like I did with Breaking Bad, but I enjoy it.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
same for me.
It's
yeah.
funny as hell. I just
Yeah.
haven't watched it all the way through.
And I just love Steve Carell.
He is freaking. He's probably one of my favorite.
I don't
Him
really like
and
his
Jim
character that much.
Are
but
pretty funny.
See,
I
my
love
my
Michael.
problem is
Oh.
I love Michael too, but my problem is when I see Steve Carell in anything, it's like, oh my god, seeing you play something other than Michael Scott is just weird.
See, whereas I see him as an Evan Almighty, like that's what I grew up
I
with.
mean, I watched that movie a lot too.
Hey,
but
everybody's got to give Steve Carell his credit. This man's got range because
Yeah.
he's played.
Yeah, that's
he can
true.
play
Serious.
fucking Michael Scott, or he can play the asshole in
oh
the way
my,
way
the
back.
way way
Yeah.
back.
Like,
Oh my god.
he's phenomenal.
I'd rate you about a 3 or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
And I had never seen him play any other than a goofy role because that's all
Right.
he was ever in.
but
And
he's so good.
oh yeah.
He's so good at being the a-hole stepdad coming
Yeah.
in.
And he's super good at just being someone who's super underqualified for their job, and they just stupid.
He is a good salesman, though. That's
Yeah,
something they keep
he
bringing
is.
back up and like throughout, where they're like, "Okay, Michael, you're gonna go on a sales call with Andy," and he like knows exactly what he's doing, and then Andy, of course, screws everything up.
Yeah. Or like
Michael just wants everybody to love him.
they
He's
have
just a child, a man child.
they
So
have
that's why he keeps screwing up.
He has a trauma.
they
with
have
his
the
mom.
conference.
Yeah, that's true.
It- Why are they bigger than you? I don't know.
They have the they go to the like the paper salesman expo conference thing, and that's when Jim and Josh come from Stanford, and Dwight and Michael come
Yeah,
from.
I think I remember that episode.
Yeah,
He's like
so-
party in room 305 or
Yes.
whatever.
So they're all like hating on him and stuff, and Michael's sitting down, and they're all hating on him. And he's like, as of tomorrow, Dunder Mifflin can now sell Hammer Mill products, and everybody's like, holy shit, that's like a big thing. And Michael's like, yep, I did that, and because
So he has redeeming
he's
qualities
super
all the
like
time.
stupid, but he is a great salesman. And the episode we just got done watching was
I love his cringiness.
yes, was the watermark episode where the watermark of the duck and the rat get put on all the paper.
DEFCON 5.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we're at threat level midnight.
Yeah.
We're at threat level midnight, and that's another funny one with Andy. So Andy and Jim go to the high school because that's like their biggest. They send out their prom invitations on this paper. First off, you get the paper and you don't look at the paper before you print all your prom invitations on it, and there's a duck and a rat. Well, so they're going there and they're walking down the hallway, and Andy's like, "This is like fresh."
That's my girlfriend.
Andy, and he's like, "What's my girlfriend doing here?" And Jim was like, "Oh, is your girlfriend a teacher?" He's like, "She's over there." And the girl's opened up her locker, and he's like, "That's my girlfriend." And Jim goes,
No, it's not.
"That's not your girlfriend because it's a felony." And he like walks up to her, and Jim is mean because Andy's gets like pissed off and is like, "You're in high school," and walks up to her. Jim go, and you hear Jim audibly go, "Oh my god," and turn around and like just don't want to look at it. And I'm like, that would be me in
That's
that
because
situation.
Jim is the one normal
Yes.
motherfucker in the entire office. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Stanley is up there for normalcy.
yeah, but Stanley's like
That
the
man
old
just-
guy that like.
Yeah, but
He
he's
just
like
likes
a
pretzels and
stereotype.
crosswords.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He is a stereotypical.
When the branch is closing, Stanley's like, "I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna take my severance, and we gonna
Yeah.
move to Florida." And then
Wasn't he excited?
Yeah.
he was
Like-
packing his stuff, and he was like calling his wife and stuff, and he's like, "Pack your bags. We're going. I'm retiring." But yeah, so. And then
But-
Creed is quality assurance, and he's calling the paper mill, and it's like, so I was supposed to meet with who wasn't there last week, her, and gets her fired.
Also, so we can talk about the fact that the first season was done in the
First
UK,
done in the UK,
but it didn't go well,
it bombed in the UK,
and
if
so
you,
they did
I
the
don't
first
think
season again in the US.
I don't think it's the first whole season.
I thought it was
'Cause I
two
don't think
different
No,
shows.
there's two different shows. They did.
Yeah,
a
they have
whole-
the Office UK and then they have the
Yeah.
Office US.
Yeah,
They have.
It's the same episode. Like
go
the first
watch.
episode's the same
Go watch
thing.
the pilot of
Oh,
The Office
really?
UK and
But
go
I'm
watch
saying-
the pilot.
Oh
it's
yeah,
the same.
yeah.
Oh, I get that. I was just saying that
The first
they're two
couple
different
episodes
shows
are
now.
the same. But I don't think it's the full season because I don't think they have a basketball episode on
No, but it's like a couple of episodes in, and it was just bombing so bad that they didn't continue.
Ricky, is it Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
He's
in
Michael
fact-
Scott.
And
Yeah.
he's the producer for The Office U.S. as well. So
Yeah, but didn't The Office UK? It had a couple seasons. I still thought it
I think
developed
it ended
into
after
a show.
the first one.
Addison.
After 2 seasons.
2 seasons. Okay, so it had
seasons.
2 seasons.
I gotcha.
I only remember watching the first season.
But they basically took it
Yeah.
and just redid it.
Yeah,
One of the-
I knew that.
One of the writers that was American, I think, and was working on it in the UK with them, took it and did it in the US, and it was just went 9 seasons, 219 episodes, I think.
Well, I feel like it had a resurgence when streaming came out. Because
Yes.
I didn't. I remember my teacher talking about watching it. He loved the show. It was Mr. Smith.
That's why I started watching it.
He loved it, but I never watched TV shows like
History
that.
Smith.
No,
No,
English.
Oh,
He loved
You'd
that
know.
show. There was
If you had him,
Oh.
you'd know.
Yeah.
He loves it.
and there was it was like one towards the end of the school year. He played a whole episode.
Yeah,
I forgot which
he
one it
did
was.
that with us too.
Which episode? Did
He showed us the fire one with Dwight lighting the knobs on
Oh,
fire.
God.
today,
love that part.
today, smoking is gonna save
When he
lives.
throws it in there.
Yeah. What's the procedure? What's
yeah,
the
yeah, and he's
procedure?
freaking the fuck out.
Is that where Angela throws a cat up into the room?
Yeah,
and it falls
Save
back down?
Bandit! Save Bandit! Because no, Oscar's in the roof. He climbs up into the roof. And
Is that the same episode where he's singing Ryan Started the
no,
Fire?
No,
That's
that
a different
is
one?
in the second season.
Yeah.
And that is
Ryan started the fire.
Yeah.
yeah. It was always burning since the world was turning. No, right? Yeah, Ryan left
Ryan's
his
like,
cheese
I don't want to
pita.
be that guy.
He left his cheese pita in the toaster oven. But earlier in the episode, Ryan talked about how he's like, see, like Stanley is the crossword puzzle guy. He's like, I don't want to be here and be a guy. Like, I don't want to have a name.
He just wants to be the temp.
Yeah, and then he starts the fire, and they call him the fire guy. And then
Yeah.
when he goes to corporate, then gets arrested for misleading the shareholders. Kevin starts calling him the fired guy because he comes back as another temp.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh, so that's another thing. Is in the first season when they have the diversity day.
Oh my gosh.
I think you do, Mom.
You want to go smoke some
man.
pot? And she's like, no, I don't. I think you do, man.
Look, it's Holocaust versus the slavery.
No, it's Stanley and Pam, and they're talking because I think Pam was Jewish. Yes.
Yeah.
And so Pam has the Jewish thing on her head, and Stanley has the black card on his head, and he's like, "Come on, this is a good one. Come on, this is slavery versus the Holocaust." And
Jesus.
Stanley goes, "Oh my God, what am I?" And Michael's like, "That was not planned." And then it cuts to him, and he's like, "I was gonna throw an Arab in there, but I thought that'd be too explosive."
And then also, Pam was trying to help Dwight figure out who he was,
Yes.
and Dwight was Asian, so she was like, in some cultures, which I do not agree, you're a bad driver. And Dwight goes, I'm a woman.
He goes, "Oh man, am I a woman?" Yeah. And
So basically, this show would not work out nowadays.
and then Michael puts his on, and it says Martin Luther King. Oh, and he has the goodness
You
gracious.
don't call your friends an R word because they're an R word.
That's
you call
a
them an
whole
R
other
word because
episode.
they're acting R word.
Um,
You cannot say that now.
in the beginning of the diversity day, he has he does his little like 10-second video that he recorded, and he's like, Abraham Lincoln once said, "If you're a racist, I'm gonna fight you with the North, or I'll attack you with the North." That's hilarious. There are freaking videos he makes like Scranton. What? It's the Electric City.
The fact that he has a camera at that office and it's like not working at all, just making training videos all day long.
Yeah, the fact that he has a job is hilarious, but
One of the episodes that we just watched was where they were learning about warehouse safety, and
yeah.
Michael has the trampoline at the bottom, and so he's like, "Let's test this out." And so they get a watermelon and hit Stanley's car.
because
Yeah.
Michael's gonna act like he's depressed, and he's like, so I act like I'm depressed, jump off the building, hit the trampoline, do a couple fun bounce, get off, and I'm fine. And so they're like, let's test it, and they throw a watermelon off, it bounces off and lands on top of Stanley's car. And I'm trying to. He was like, Dwight, you ignorant slut. Depression, isn't that just another word for feeling bummed out? Dwight, you ignorant slut. Oh.
And he did it twice. I forgot that too because they forgot to bring the warehouse guys out there.
I heard the
Dwight. Yeah, Dwight, where's the warehouse guys? And then Jim's like, they were a little rocky on their first one. Second one, I think they really brought it home. I'm gonna bring my parents tomorrow for the matinee. And then they figured out he ended up buying a bouncy castle, and they were like, "Oh my god, he's actually gonna jump!" And they're like, "Don't do it, Michael. Please don't."
Yeah, they actually have to talk him down from not jumping.
Yeah,
it's just a class. It still lives on today. I mean, like
Yeah.
all the memes and stuff.
It's just
I look
funny.
for office memes all the time.
yes. Expect like when I'm celebrating, it's always Michael with the boombox going like that, or
Partying. Yeah.
Who are y'all's favorite character?
Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character, it goes between Creed.
She loves Creed.
I love Creed.
Smells like death. I know what that smell is. I sprout mung beans in my in my desk. Smell like death, or they smell like death, but they're nutritious.
I wouldn't say that Toby's a favorite character, but he's a character I
You always
feel
feel
for.
bad for Toby.
I feel for, but then I also just love Kevin. Like Kevin is my spirit animal. He's really good at gambling, but not good with numbers.
Yeah,
he might be
suck.
doing insider trading,
That's
and he
Dallas.
makes good chili.
And that's Dallas. Or they have the casino night, and he's like, he's wearing the bracelet, and he was like, I was the double deuce champion of this gambling tournament or something. And then Phyllis beats him with a flush, and he's like, yeah,
I know
I
nothing.
suck.
Yeah.
Where he spills the chili.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I remember
Kevin's
seeing that one.
famous chili. And he's like, the first thing you do is you undercook the onions. Everybody's going to get to know each other in the pot. And then he fucking spills the chili all over the
We
bottom.
watched
He's
that.
got the
Scraping it back up.
clipboard.
We watched that in Lego form the other night on
Yeah.
TikTok.
My office set up there, Kevin has his pot with his chili in it. And you're supposed to set him up right there in the middle of the office, laying on the ground with all the chili spilled out everywhere. And
But who's your favorite character?
I have multiple ones at different.
I think
I kind of feel the same.
if I sum them all down, if I get out the obvious ones like Jim and Michael and stuff,
Yeah.
Daryl. I love
Dude,
Daryl's
I was
a
gonna
good
say that.
one.
my
Daryl's-
favorite part with Daryl, and it makes me laugh so freaking hard every time I watch it. So it's in the later seasons. It's when Daryl's
He's in the office.
he's in the office. He has his own office because he takes Jim's old office when Jim was big or was the second manager or the co-manager of the branch. But they're something like the branch. There's something going on with the branch, so they're all doing their customer complaint cards, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Daryl's the man for this one." Instead, a customer called and complained on Daryl because he was
having sex on the phone.
he was having sex on the phone while he butt dialed a customer, and he goes, "Yeah, I was actually eating spaghetti. I was actually eating spaghetti, but I'm gonna let them think that the other one." Oh, I butchered it. It is so funny. And another episode we just watched has a funny part with Daryl is the safety training one, because Daryl, the reason they're having to do all the safety training because Daryl's in crutches and he has a broke foot, and he was like, because some unnamed office worker came over and pushed the ladder out from under me and said, and it switches to Michael, and he goes, "Hey Daryl, how's it hanging?" Oh,
I feel like how early is that episode? Because I feel like I've seen
Season
that
3?
part.
Yeah, that's season
Okay.
three.
that's season 3. That's
'Cause
like
I remember
episode
him being
20-something.
hurt.
My
Yeah.
favorite is, other than like Jim and Michael and stuff, is Andy. Up until he becomes,
Manager.
up until he becomes a dick. I love Andy. Like,
He's always kind of a dick.
but he's not like when he becomes a manager.
Rid-a-do-do-do.
When he becomes a manager, that's when he falls off for me. I'm like, man, why did you have to turn him into this? Like,
Ed
Yeah.
Helms is funny as hell though. Just period.
Yeah.
I can't even remember some of the stuff, but there's some
Big
stuff.
tuna.
The wall when he hits the wall, and then other
Yeah.
stuff that happens. That man makes me laugh so hard.
Beer me. What?
And his acapella group.
Beer me that water over there. Oh yeah. I went to Cornell. It
Yeah.
was an Ivy League school.
It's just because his parents are rich. Like, that's what you learn.
Yeah.
But I also really like Angela because I think sometimes I am an Angela. And Tyler also thinks that my little sister looks like Angela.
Ivy and Angela are like twins. The way they act and look.
Because they're very, like, all the time.
Like pissed
RBF.
off all the
Yeah.
time. RBF and petite. Like,
and loves cats.
Yes.
And loves babies dressed in
That
different
shit
things.
with her and Dwight.
Yeah, that is
The
wild.
sneaking
It's
around
so
and stuff like
good.
that.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Don't-
kitten.
Oh, I love Mose too. That has to be
Yes.
the off character. I like
You
that.
have to wrestle fear to the ground when he's he's teaching Ryan how to be a salesman. And he's like, "Is that your cousin Mose?" Yes.
Oh, is that the dude that's on the?
He's got the neck beard. He's on the
Yes.
farm, on the
Yeah.
beet farm. We so y'all remember any of the cold opens that you watched? Like, which one was your favorite?
I would have to rewatch it to see, but there's some great cold opens.
One of my favorites up there is when Jim comes in dressed as Dwight. He's like,
Bears
Oh,
beat
which
yes.
Battlestar
bear
Galactica.
is best? Well, there's basically two schools of thoughts. False. Bears eat beets. No, they don't. Bears beets Battlestar Galactica.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
He's like, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And he takes his bobblehead out and puts it on the desk. And he goes, identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year. And then Jim goes, Michael? He goes, oh, that's funny. Michael? I can quote it all word for word. But that is my favorite show. But I'm going to say that a million times.
My favorite's when he changes out with Asian Jim.
Oh, yeah.
And Dwight's like about to pass out. He's like,
Or the, when
He
he
puts nickels in the phone.
is talking about, no, that's before Jim leaves and goes to Stanford. They're talking about, they go to the special complaint box in corporate, and it's just a box under Toby's desk where he puts all of Dwight's complaints for Jim. And he was like, I hit myself in the face with my headset, and I suspect Jim. And Michael's like, what are you talking about? And Jim's like, yeah, I just kept adding a nickel every day into his headset, and then one day I just took them all out.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Or when he had trained Dwight, every time that his computer would
rebooted,
restart,
he would get a mint.
he would give a mint, and he's like, all of a sudden, my breath
My
is not good.
breath
Like,
stinks. Or he's like, a bad taste in my mouth. Is it Dwight Altoid? Yeah, the whole Angela in that's a crazy thing because like they're hoeing around and then they like start trying for a kid even though because Angela just wants a kid, and then they stop and then Angela starts dating the senator. And
then Oscar
the
dates
senator
the senator.
is screwing Oscar. And they break up.
That whole thing where Michael finds out about Oscar.
Oh,
and
I'm
he's
sorry.
acting-
I called
and he's
you.
treating him and acting the way he acts
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
He's like, I'm gonna do it. And they kiss each other, and it pans. It goes to Oscar, and he's like, "Yeah, Jan offered me 6 months paid vacation in a company car, so that I wouldn't sue."
yeah.
And so when he came back, he said, I really don't care if they start making fun of me again. I might get a raise or something like
Yeah.
that.
Who knows? Might get a raise. So, I know we're just talking about
Well,
random
hold on.
episodes of The Office.
What was your favorite character?
I mean, the whole Jim Pam thing was my favorite. I liked Angela too, which, I mean, a lot of people don't, but
I didn't like Angela.
I
didn't
like what
see
she
enough,
brings
I
to the
guess.
office
I mean,
because she feels like she's very important. She's got like the party planning committee down to a T. She
Or-
also is
green
very
is whorish.
religious. Yeah. Orange.
No, orange. I like orange. Orange is whorish, and Phyllis is wearing an orange shirt.
I liked Phyllis too, though.
I
She
did.
had that quick, like under
Yes.
her breath humor.
Bob Vance, refrigeration. Bob Vance, refrigeration. Bob Vance, refrigeration.
I didn't realize
Ryan
how
goes,
early on.
What kind of business you in, Bob?
I didn't realize how early on Phyllis had gotten married to
Yeah.
Bob. I thought maybe that had taken
shit.
a while.
When Michael gets up there and he has the card, he's like, Webster's Dictionary describes wedding as the fusion of two hot metals. It was like,
Marriage.
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 Or Phyllis's dad gets out of the. Michael was in the wedding and he's pushing Phyllis's dad down the aisle and he stops the wheelchair and he's like, I'm gonna get up and walk, and Michael sits him back down. He's like, you don't have to do this, and he gets up and Michael just drags the wheelchair down. Oh, it's so cringy. It's so funny.
But yeah, Tyler says that if I'm any character out of The Office, I'm probably gonna be Phyllis, and I can't disagree.
I love you in oven mitts worth during the
Oh,
white
man.
elephant. That's a super bad episode for me to watch. And he's like, you know what? We're changing it. We're gonna play Yankee Swap after they were playing Secret Santa, and they were like, we got
And
these
Jim
gifts
had gotten
for
the teapot with all of the
Michael bought Ryan
Yeah,
a
I
fucking
hated
iPod.
that part. I was like, oh no.
Yankee Swap.
What about you, Scott? Who's your favorite?
Who makes me laugh probably the most? Because I mean, I don't know. Like I said, as much as I've watched, I like Daryl. He's funny, but I
love
like
Daryl.
that comedian. Period.
Yeah,
And
he's got a new show out on Peacock. I want to start
Yeah.
watching.
And I mean, Michael, just the offhanded shit he says is too funny to me.
Michael-
Because it's so cringy that you're just like,
Okay,
Jesus.
so because he's so cringy, that's why he goes down on my list of characters.
See.
Because as much as redeeming qualities and how funny he can be, I still think that he's someone I would not want to work for.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to work for Michael
Oh
Scott.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I would love to work for Michael Scott. That'd be amazing.
So I've always had a thing, and I've always kind of wanted to be a salesman, and it's because of The Office. I know if I go out there and get a salesman job, it ain't gonna be nothing like The Office, but it's like a boy could dream. If I could work in that every day of my life, that'd be awesome. Conference meetings every 5 minutes about some stupid stuff.
If there was a Todd Packer at your office,
What's up, you big queen? Oh,
Isn't
that's
Packer
not.
the bald dude, or he's
Yeah,
like
he's the traveling
he's
salesman.
the one who ruined the carpet
Yeah,
in Michael's office.
he crapped in the middle of Michael's office, and so the whole episode, the warehouse guys are replacing all the carpet and all that because they
And
couldn't
Michael's
get the
like
smell
angry, and he's like, "Who did this?" Like
He-
trying to figure it out.
out.
And
He's
then all of a
blaming everybody,
Oh,
and
that's his
then
name, like the Pac-Man or something
Yeah.
like
yeah. And then Todd
Oh.
comes in, and he's like, "Oh, did you get your present? I left in the middle of the floor." And he's like, Michael laughs it off like, "Oh, it's
Michael's
a funny
like,
joke."
"Did y'all see a big present in here or a big package in here?" And they were like, "You talking about the thing?" And then it's a joke. One of my favorite parts of Todd Packer is when he's like, I need to go do something, but I have that DUI problem. So they're like, yeah, just get Ryan to drive you. They're walking over to his car, and his license plate says well hung. But so Ryan goes, you a big William Hung fan? And Todd Packer goes, now why does everyone ask me that? And, yeah, Todd Packer's a whole different can of worms. He's so
They just sent that guy out because they didn't want to have to deal with
He
him
definitely
anymore.
couldn't be in today's time.
No.
yes, that is one big problem that Steve Carell has said about The Office is why they can't reboot it.
It's a bachelor party.
It
Well, why
it
haven't
just
you gotten a
it couldn't
stripper?
work
Oh, yeah,
in
no.
today's world.
No.
It is.
But people
Some of
still watch it, though.
Yes,
Some
it
of the
is
offhanded
funny.
shit that is said in that show
Yes.
would not fly.
With the whole episode with Oscar.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it wouldn't fly.
But they're kind of making fun of that. Like,
Yes.
it's like...
I'm
It's
sorry.
sarcasm.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
It's
the
humor.
the
It's all
biggest part with
humor.
Michael that I don't like, the cringe that hurts me so bad is that telling the kids that they don't get the money.
oh yeah, Scott's
Scott's
tots.
thoughts. You might as well just pass that episode.
I do. I think I do sometimes. I'm like, no, I can't handle that right now. It gives me so much anxiety.
What does he say?
He promises
made
a bunch of
promise to
kids
like a kindergarten class
that he'd pay
he
for
would
their
pay for
college.
their college tuition.
And he
It's
has
so,
no
like,
money.
It comes to the day where they're all grown and graduating.
He goes to the school, and they're like,
they do a whole performance
like,
for him, and they're like,
"Hey."
Scott gonna make it right, or something like that. Scott gonna take care of us, and
And he has to tell him that he doesn't have the money, that he's not paid for their college.
But
It
just
is
like
rough.
It
I don't
was
think. I don't
bad.
think. Have you seen that episode,
No.
Katie?
that's
You
like
would-
I'm sure I have, but I don't remember it.
Oof.
that's like
Oof.
Oscar with the fun run for his nephew, and it was like, no, it's
wow,
for each
Jim,
lap.
Jim donated $3. Wow, very cheap of him. And he was like $25, and he writes down $25, and he's like, "That's very good for you." And so Michael makes like a offhanded comment to Jim, and is like, all you could do was $3, and he's like, well, it's $3 a mile, so it's gonna end up being like $50. And Michael walks over there and was like, how many miles did your kid walk last year? And he was like, 21. And he was like, shit.
He was like, can I take it back? And Oscar's like, I think it's a little like rude
Yeah, he's like, you really?
to go back on a donation.
He was like, well, I didn't know it was gonna be. It's so cringy, but it's so funny.
It's funny how many characters they make jump the shark on there. Like Ryan. Jan is wild.
Jan Levinson Gould.
She jumps the shark
just Jan
so
Levinson.
bad and
I
gets
can't
so
believe her and
wild.
Michael.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
she's jumping the
Feeling
shark.
hot.
She's
Oh
freaking
God,
insane.
the freaking dinner party
Yeah,
episode.
that one's
with
wild.
the plasma screen TV that folds straight into the wall. The bloopers for
He
that
took
episode
me
are
by
hilarious
the
because
hand,
Sean,
made
hell?
me into
Michael-
a man. That
Michael,
one night.
Michael would push the TV. It's like a 12-inch plasma screen TV. He's like, look, and he's got it on one of the like moving mounts, and he's like, look, and there's a lot of people in the room. It folds straight into the wall, and every blooper is John Krasinski he can't handle it. They're just laughing their ass off every time he does it, and then Jan throws the trophy at it, or the Dundee at it, because she's making Serenity by Jan, all her candles and stuff, because she gets like fired, I'm pretty sure.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. That's that episode.
You know what that does to a man when he's had the
A
vasectomy?
bisectomy, reverse and irreverse, multiple times.
Snip,
God.
snap, snip, snap.
That had to be so fun recording that, like
Yeah.
acting that out and making that show.
Oh, I bet every single one of them probably had a freaking blast.
They
And I
did.
want to know how many times they had to do retakes because, like, I'm
Uh,
sure some of that shit they just
I can
couldn't
never say
hold it
John
together.
Krasinski.
John
Yeah.
Krasinski. Yeah.
He was still waiting tables on season 1.
Yeah.
Really?
So I wanted to say this. This is something. Every one of them kept most of them got their start in the office, and every one of them kept their day jobs because they were all told it's gonna flop because what happened in the UK, and they just didn't think it was gonna be a funny show. And Michael, of course, Steve Carell. I watched a couple episodes of the I think Office Ladies. It's what's Pam's real name? I can't remember.
Jenna Fisher.
Yeah, Jenna Fisher and Angela something. Her name's Angela in real life, but the girl who plays Angela have a podcast together, and they talk about each episode. And they were talking about how Steve Carell told them they were all like walking off set, and they're all walking to their cars. And this is when her and Angela became really good friends. Was the first season, and Michael like stopped him and was like, "Look, if this tanks and it doesn't take off, at least we made all these friendships." And I was like, look at Steve Carell doing all that. And Oscar was a nanny, and his name's Oscar in real life too, I'm pretty sure. Oscar was a nanny, and Jim was still waiting tables, and they all kept their day jobs until like it took off. But
Yeah, Creed used to be in a band, a popular band. right?
Creed-
The grassroots.
Creed Bratton is
Yeah.
his real name. But the opening, the theme music and the opening you know what I mean.
Yeah. The opening, yeah.
Yeah, the first videos that look like you're filmed on a really crappy camcorder is when John Krasinski got the job. He drove out to Scranton and just filmed a bunch of stuff, and it stays in the opening thing all
Oh,
the way
that's
through the
cool.
whole show. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff behind the scenes with that show.
it
Just
didn't have
like
a big budget,
everybody
so they
and-
kind of just all worked on what they had, and they worked together. And
End up making something great.
yes,
So, like, all the characters are pretty much likable and they all have their own thing. But is there any character that you could have just done without?
Todd
Packer. I don't like Todd Packer.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of annoying, and he wasn't really that big. Halfway through the season, Ryan. Like, after Ryan gets fired from corporate, he's...
Yeah, he just didn't need to come back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I get it. Kelly needed her whole...
He was a writer, too. The
Yeah.
actor. He was actually
BJ
well
Novak.
Yeah, I
acted.
knew he was
Yeah.
a writer.
You know what he
on it.
does now? He writes children's books.
That's cool.
BJ Novak. is his
Also,
name.
there is a conspiracy.
Him and Kelly.
Yeah.
There
I
is a
could have done without
conspiracy
Kelly. That's what I was going to say. I could have done without her.
It is fun rewatching
that they
it.
are actually married and have kids together because they go to every event together. They do all the things, but she says she's married and he says
Mindy
he's
Kaling.
not.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a whole thing about BJ and Mindy like being a thing and having kids, but nobody really knows if they're together or not.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't post her husband,
Yeah.
and she goes to everything with BJ. So it's like, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
I'm trying to think of it.
Which another conspiracy theory is that Toby's the Scranton Strangler,
Yes. That's...
which I don't agree with fully because Toby's
There's
such
a lot
sweetheart.
of stuff, and it's like mainly based on like budget restrictions for the show. Like the car that because they do a whole chase scene where the police chase the Scranton Strangler by the building, by the office building, and
And it's Toby's car.
it's Toby's car because everybody's car is accounted for, and that one car in the parking lot that is the same car they're chasing is Toby's car, and Toby was on trial for it, or he was on jury, but really he was on trial. It's all just conspiracy that isn't really true. Like, there's no way it could be.
Was Packer the only one? You said you could do
Yeah.
that?
Packer,
Kelly.
later
Kelly.
season Ryan.
Kelly. I don't know though, but cause
Andy when he becomes an asshole.
yeah.
Yeah.
More
uh,
like a
Who's
crappy
the
one.
redheaded girl that comes in?
Oh yeah, a lot of people
Oh,
didn't like
Nelly.
her.
Nelly.
Yeah.
Wasn't she supposed to be like the Pam of the other office?
No.
No, she was.
It was Kelly, the next Kelly that came in that was like Pam's job when Pam started sales.
No, you're talking about
Aaron.
Aaron.
Her name is
I thought
Kelly.
her name was Kelly.
Both the
her
name
re-
is Kelly.
Right.
But because they changed it to Aaron because it's when Charles is in there, Idris Elba is in there, and he's like Kelly, and then Kelly from customer service keeps walking in and is like, "Yes, Charles, you called me?" And he's like, "All right, I'm talking to her," so they start calling her Aaron.
I'm aware of the effect I have on women.
Yeah, I'm aware of the fact.
Yeah, isn't he like a
effect
total douchebag?
Yes, and Jim plays the prank on Dwight that episode where he
With a
comes in a
tuxedo?
tuxedo and he looks at Jim. Why are you wearing a tuxedo? And he's like, "Want to look good for work, sir." And Jim's like thinks he's gonna get fired, and yeah, like Charles has it out for Jim the whole time.
One of my favorite episodes, which, I mean, this is a little off topic, but one of my favorite episodes isn't it Threat Level Midnight, the
Yeah,
movie
where
that
they act out.
yes, but
Michael's
even
movie.
before that, when they're all like talking it through and reading through it, and Dwight sees that
They changed it to Mr. They changed. So he wrote Threat Level Midnight. It's a movie script that Michael wrote, but he made the idiot in like the stupid guy in the movie. His original name was Dwight, but then he changed it to Mr. Chang, and then so Dwight's reading it because he's playing Michael Scarn because Michael's out of the office, and
it says Dwight,
it says DeWitt because Michael did the
find and search.
find and search and changed all of it, but it didn't change that one because it was misspelled. And Dwight was more pissed off that he misspelled his name. But the Threat Level Midnight movie though, that whole episode they have with the movie is hilarious. And
I like that episode too.
Daryl's funny in that because Daryl's the president, and he's like, "I thought I would show my daughter what an actual black president, but by the time it came out, there was a black president."
Now that show will pull on your heart strings because the part where Jim is saying goodbye, like it's making me tear up right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
When he's saying goodbye
He's
to
like,
Michael.
"You're not leaving tomorrow, are you? You're leaving today, right?" And Michael's like, "Mm-hmm." And he's like, "Well, we're gonna go out to lunch tomorrow. and I will tell you that you are the best boss I have ever had.
And he starts
it's like,
tearing up. And I'm
yeah.
like,
Oh my god.
Which
And-
Jim always had Michael's back no matter what. Like, even though as much as, like, he couldn't stand him for some things.
Well, it was like when Josh left for Staples. It was,
like, he went up to
Michael-
Michael and he's like, I know you'd never do that
or
to
he
us.
says it to the camera. He was like, say what you want about Michael Scott, but he would never do that. And it was like, Michael Snot is Michael Snot. He's Michael's he's stupid, but he's still like a good guy. He tries to be.
he's just awkward.
Yeah.
He's just a weirdo.
He has
He has no common
qualities.
sense because when he walks up to Pam and is like, Pam, I want to adopt one of them little Asian babies. Do all that, and she's like, Michael, this is a really big decision. The application alone is $1,000. And he was like, is there anywhere I can get a little cheaper? And so he goes on a dating website and because he wants a kid. And he makes like an account, and he's like, and I have the perfect name, and he types it in. He goes, "Little Kid Lover," so people know exactly where my intentions are. Yeah, that's I think second season or something. But
That's why you can't really hate him, because there's all those little good moments. Like, one of my favorites is when Pam does her art show.
yeah,
And he
we
shows
just
up.
watched that.
Up. Yes, it's like, oh.
Yeah, and he's like, that one's going in, but then they throw the whole shit in there where she's hugging him, and she's like, is there something in your pocket? And he pulls out a candy bar, chunky. You want to half it?
But then he
It's-
hangs it up in the office.
Yeah, and
it's
it
like,
stays
oh,
there the
man.
whole
It's the
time.
same thing with Dwight, because there's sometimes where you're like, I could do without Dwight. Come on, get over it. But then, like, when Pam's crying because of the whole gym situation.
Dwight walks up and is like,
Where's he?
who did this to you?
Yeah.
Where is he? And he was like, you're PMSing pretty bad, aren't you? And she just starts crying harder.
But then he takes off his jacket and wraps it around his waist because he says it's cold. But then he takes out his handkerchief and gives it to Pam. So then it's like, okay, like, he really does care about
When he gets
the
his
people in
concussion,
this office.
Yeah. and
After
he-
Michael
he's like
grills
really
his
cool.
foot.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Pam, you're
And
so
Pam's
nice.
like,
And she's like,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
miss this.
I'm going to miss you. And he's like, I'm coming back. She goes, I know, but it's going to be different. Yeah, that is super cringy, too, because the owner of the office building is in a wheelchair. The guy that owns the building.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
Michael's calling himself, he's disabled
Disabled.
because he grilled his foot with a George Foreman grill. And he's like, I love the smell of bacon in the morning. Sue me. He starts
Which later on they're doing steaks for Bob Van's bachelor party, and they're doing it in a George Foreman. And Ryan goes, "Is this the same George Foreman you grilled your foot on?" And Michael goes, "Yeah."
Michael goes, yes, but I cleaned all the grilled foot off. And then he walks in and he goes, I got some man meat. Who wants some man meat? And Dwight goes, I want your man meat, Michael. Oh.
But
That
yeah,
show.
anyways, it's cringe because Michael is like, I'm disabled, but really,
Yeah, he's like, how long does it take you to brush your teeth in the morning? And he was like 20 seconds. And he's like, that's 10 seconds longer than I. Yeah, everybody stops watching after the 7th season because that's when Michael leaves. And, I mean, out of all the women in Michael's life, he ends up with the perfect one because she is just him as a woman, Holly. Y'all know about that?
Yeah, I've seen him get with Holly.
Yeah, and they moved to Colorado. And
Doesn't he actually date his, like, one of the ladies that he dates is actually his
yeah,
wife?
Carol, his first
That's
girlfriend.
the first one.
It's
you
his
see.
realtor.
But in that, like,
They go to
really Steve
Kelly's.
Carell's...
That's Steve Carell's wife.
That-
Real life.
okay,
Yeah.
that's-
And she's dressed as a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Diwali. They go to her
Yeah.
Diwali.
They go to Kelly's Diwali, and he proposes to her.
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
oh,
Michael,
that's
this
a
is-
rough one, too. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And so then
Oh.
for the Christmas episode that season, he's like, my girl Carol's coming, and I love her so much, and we're gonna do this, and that, and then she
You
shows up
got
and
2
breaks.
tickets to paradise.
She breaks
There's
up
2
with
Sandals Jamaica all-inclusive tickets. And she breaks up with him because he sent her a Christmas card of her and her ex-husband with her kids, and he photoshopped his face on her
face on it. I
ex-husband.
remember that.
And she's like, you don't do this, Michael. And he's like, well, you want to go to Sandals Jamaica with me? And she doesn't. And he ends up going with Jan. And then he sends the picture to Todd Packer, he sends it to packaging at
So Daryl gets it
DunderMifflin.com.
and sends it to
Everyone of,
and Tal goes, "Oh, I just got it from somebody else. Nice go."
and he walks down there and they have it printed out, and it's just a huge picture of him like this in Jan's land
And Jan
with no
never
top.
figures out, right? Like
No,
she doesn't know.
She figures out.
But it's a lot later.
I mean, I think she was just trying to keep up the lie, because everybody knew. She knew.
Yeah, she
but
knew
I
it.
don't know if she knew that the picture was out to the whole office.
I think she figures out towards the end.
Yeah.
Because she has to talk to him, and he's like, and he gets all freaked out from it.
Speaking of Jan, so when she like leaves, and she leaves Michael, and then she comes back up and she's pregnant, and Michael is like, "Is it mine?" And she's like, "No," and he's like, "Well, I've heard of the toilet seat thing. I always just thought it was a myth." But
And then doesn't
'cause
she find out that Kevin has been giving sperm to the same
Yeah.
thing?
Same
That's one of my
sperm.
favorite bloopers that goes around.
yeah. He's like, "Is it the one over by the thing?" And she's
Behind
like,
the IHOP or something
"Yeah,
like that.
behind the IHOP," and she's like. They have the whole baby shower for her, and the baby's already born, and so they have the bowl with the boy name and the girl name, and he was like, "Why would you want to name her Ass Turd?" It's Astrid.
Astrid.
Astrid, and they were like Ass Turd. But
I actually like Will Ferrell in it. A lot of people don't like him. I love him in there when he's juggling. Throw me another one.
he's like, "Phyllis, stay really still," and he starts going off her head. Dang it, what is his name? It's what's Will Ferrell's name in The Office? It's gonna piss me off right when you say it. It's D'Angelo Vickers. Yeah. He ends up going to dunk. Oh, it's so stupid. But
I don't think it's too bad after. Yeah, it sucks because
Michael's
Steve
not there,
Carell's
but-
like
That
amazing.
and
in
then
it,
the whole
but-
like Jim and Pam, like, are they gonna end up being together at the very end
Oh,
or not?
I hate that fight. That fight makes me so mad every time.
And it feels like they dragged
one?
it out.
When he's going and she gets all pissed off about him doing
Him
something,
leaving and
like,
doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she gets mad.
But she did
about
the
it.
same thing with art school.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, bro,
and
what the heck?
when she left Dunder Mifflin to go work with Michael Scott Paper Company.
Yeah, that's a
running
wild part.
Yeah, and they're running it out of the little closet, the little utility
That's
closet.
that's the only time I don't like Pam. She
Yeah.
annoys me so much. I'm like, dude, are you for
Well, then
real?
she comes back, and that's when she becomes a salesman, and she's not a very good salesman. And who leaves? Someone leaves, and Andy gets a bunch of. There's a part where Andy is, because Andy's a horrible salesman too, and there's a part where Andy gets these like big name clients, and
I'm
everybody's
freaking
pissed
out.
off.
I think it's
and he-
Dwight when Dwight goes to Staples.
No,
when he
because
does when he leaves.
no, because this is later on. 'Cause we
Oh.
just watched that, but he gets something else, and he just starts losing all his clients. He's like, "I lost them," and they're
Yeah.
like, "That's our biggest client."
Okay, so anyways, we'll end on this. Me and Tyler the other night got on ChatGPT after watching a couple of episodes of The Office, and so I was like, how about we create a cold open? And I think mine was pretty good. So here I said create a script of a cold open from The Office, but make it sexy. So you enter Dunder Mifflin Scranton, Michael's office. It's the morning. Michael's dressed in a sharp suit, sits behind his desk, organizing paperwork. Suddenly, Pam enters, wearing a figure-hugging dress that accentuates her curves. Michael enthusiastically, well, Pammy, looking hot today. Is there a heat wave in Scranton? Pam smirks and walks closer, leaning against the edge of Michael's desk. Pam coyly, just trying to bring some sizzle to the office, Michael. It's about time things got a little steamy around here.
This would be a cold open. It'd be like a Michael dream.
Yeah, or Michael wrote it in his movie.
Michael leans back, trying to play it cool, but failing. Michael whispering, steamy, huh? You know, I always thought that the office needed some special attention. Pam runs her finger along the edge of Michael's desk teasingly. Pam seductively says, oh, I know exactly what you mean, Michael. Maybe we could spice things up a bit. Michael grins mischievously, getting caught up in the moment. Michael suggestively, How about we make today's meeting a little more intimate? Pam leans in closer, her lips inches away from Michael's ear. Pam, husky voice. I like the way you think, boss. Maybe we can discuss those TPS reports privately. They share a knowing glance, their eyes filled with anticipation. The tension between them is palpable.
Jesus.
Enter Dunder Mifflin's grand office continuous. The camera pans out from Michael's office to reveal Jim sitting at his desk nearby. Watching the whole scene unfold, he raises an eyebrow, smirking at the camera.
That's perfect.
Jim to camera. Well, looks like Michael finally found someone to play his world's best boss game with. Enter Dunder Mifflin Scranton Michael's office continuous. Michael and Pam break eye contact, suddenly aware of the cameras capturing their every move. They quickly compose themselves, but a lingering sense of desire remains in the air. Michael stuttering. Right, well, let's save the spice for after work, Pam. Business first. Pam nods, trying to suppress a smile. Pam teasingly. Of course, Michael, but just remember, the offer stands anytime. They exchange a brief knowing glance before Pam exits Michael's office. Michael watches her leave, his imagination running wild. Michael whispering, oh, it's going to be a steamy day in Scranton indeed. The camera lingers on Michael, his expression of mixed excitement and anticipation as the scene fades out. Cue the sizzling office theme music.
Oh my god, that's actually pretty funny.
So
Kind of sounds like a
AI,
fanfic a little bit, though.
Yeah.
AI did pretty good. I wouldn't have put Michael and Pam together, but I think that's
It
the
works.
funny
So,
aspect of it.
I made one, and I want to read it, and it's not as good as that one.
Do you want me to read it, or are you gonna read it?
I got it. I can
Okay.
do this. The
What
cam.
is it?
It's an office.
Is it
It's another
the sa-
one.
It's the same
It's
premise?
not. No.
Yeah, what did you put in there?
You'll get it while I start
Okay.
reading it. I mean, it's not super funny. It's kind of lame. The camera pans across the familiar sights of Dunder Mifflin Scranton branch. Employees sitting at their desks, sipping coffee and engaging in small talk. Suddenly, the lights flicker and the air of anticipation fills the office. Michael Scott walks in wearing a mischievous grin, carrying a long cylindrical object wrapped in cloth. The office falls silent, all eyes fixed on Michael. Michael, good morning, Dunder Mifflin. Today, I bring forth the greatest weapon of all time, the ultimate symbol of power and wisdom. Michael dramatically unveils a shining blue lightsaber from beneath the cloth of the beneath the cloth. The office erupts in a mixture of excitement, confusion, and laughter. Jim smirking to the camera. Oh boy, here we go again. Michael ignites the lightsaber, its vibrant blade casting a soft glow across the room. He strikes a few exaggerated poses, mocking the Jedi Knight from Star Wars. Michael in a deep, heroic voice. I am Michael Scott, the Jedi manager, defender of the paper realm, and champion of the customer satisfaction. Dwight, ever the doubtful employee, steps forward, taking his role in this unexpected scenario quite seriously. Dwight adversely. Michael, I must inform you that according to the Shroot family code, only a true Shroot can wield the power of a lightsaber. It is a birthright. Michael playfully. Oh, come on, Dwight. We all know I'm destined for greatness. I'll be the Jedi Knight Scranton deserves. Pam, caught up in the silliness, takes a playful jab at Michael's lightsaber skills. Pam, does this mean you can finally master the art of cutting the budget without hurting our department? The office bursts into laughter. Even Michael can't help but to chuckle. Michael, all right. I may not be a Jedi, but I'm the best darn paper salesman in Scranton. And with this lightsaber, I shall conquer all challenges that come our way. Everyone joins in a light-hearted banner, playfully wielding imaginary lightsabers and engaging in mock battles. Cut to the office logo.
That's pretty good.
Uh,
That one was,
The Office, but Star Wars.
no, I typed in, create a cold open for the show The Office, but Michael has a lightsaber. I tried to do one where Michael has a gun, but it said sorry, but I can't generate that story for you. But
those are pretty good.
yeah, it's. those are
Anyways,
pretty funny.
ChatGPT pretty cool to if you just have an idea. It's
Yeah.
just hard to think
We
about
created
what to
a
do.
whole
Oh, our son
a whole
has
story
a whole story
about our son and his life. Apparently, he's gonna be like
A
a
scientist.
scientist who never gets married or has kids. So
Damn.
Don't.
I also told it. I said, "Give me 20 ideas for talking topics on nerd stuff and fandoms," and it gave me 20 ideas that are actually not that bad.
I did the same thing last night.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like I know
For
people.
that, but
Yeah, I'm not trying to like.
Not until
Do
it
world
becomes
domination.
sentient and takes all of our jobs.
I already said that.
Just kidding.
All right, close this out, Tyler, before we got too much on the video. Gotta do another drawing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's The Office. Thank y'all for watching. If you like The Office, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. I already said that.
Like,
Tell us
follow,
your
share.
favorite Office moment.
Yeah, your favorite cold open, your favorite moment, your favorite character, your least favorite character, just anything about it.
And if you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah, it's on Peacock. $5 a month.
See your peacock cut.
Oh, okay. Deuces. We gone. Bye.